In recent days, relentless rainfall across the region has transformed rivers into unstoppable currents, rushing toward the sea and overwhelming everything in their path. Cities and rural communities alike have been swallowed by catastrophic flooding as the boundary between streets, canals, and rivers simply disappeared. What began as heavy seasonal rain quickly escalated into a full-scale crisis. Continuous downpours saturated the soil hour by hour, triggering widespread landslides that worsened an already devastating situation. Across southern provinces, entire districts became isolated as roads vanished beneath rising water and transportation networks collapsed. The hardest-hit areas include Satun, Patani, Yala, Narathiwat, Trang, Patalung, and Songkhla. In Hat Yai, one of the most important urban centers in southern Thailand, floodwaters surged through neighborhoods, markets, homes, and major roads within just a few hours. Vehicles stalled and were abandoned as water levels climbed above street height. Economic activity came to a standstill. Daily life was abruptly cut off. Rainfall remained intense and persistent across the region. Drainage canals overflowed simultaneously, and water levels rose faster than warnings could reach vulnerable communities. Many residents had little time to prepare. Flooding accounted for the majority of destruction throughout southern Thailand, with water levels remaining high for days on end. Millions of people were affected. Homes stayed submerged, forcing large-scale evacuations. Essential services struggled to operate under extreme conditions. Power outages spread as substations and electrical lines were damaged. Mobile communications were disrupted or completely lost in some areas, leaving emergency calls unanswered and communities increasingly isolated. Fear grew among families trapped inside flooded neighborhoods. In several provinces, authorities confirmed casualties, while others were reported missing. Search and rescue operations continued despite unstable terrain and persistent floodwaters, placing both responders and survivors at constant risk. For families stranded in flooded homes, survival became uncertain. Food supplies dwindled as access routes disappeared. Clean drinking water grew increasingly scarce. Nights passed in exhaustion and fear, with unanswered questions hanging in the air. Many residents were forced to climb to rooftops or upper floors, waiting in darkness for help to arrive, while the sound of rain became a constant reminder of danger. Evacuation centers quickly exceeded their intended capacity. Schools, mosques, and community halls were converted into emergency shelters almost overnight. Families shared limited space, resources, and privacy, while uncertainty shaped every conversation. In rural areas, livelihoods were devastated. Rice fields, rubber plantations, and fish farms were flooded or destroyed. Months of labor vanished in a matter of days. Economic damage extended far beyond what was visible in flooded streets, as collapsed roads and damaged bridges cut off transport corridors across multiple provinces, slowing the delivery of aid. Emergency response efforts expanded wherever conditions allowed. Rescue teams deployed boats and heavy equipment, while military units assisted with evacuations and supply distribution. The Thai Red Cross intensified humanitarian operations, distributing more than 12,600 Royal Relief bags containing food, water, and essential supplies. For many families, these deliveries became lifelines. Local communities acted alongside authorities. Neighbors helped neighbors without hesitation, sharing food, clothing, and shelter. Volunteers organized support where official aid had not yet arrived. Collective effort replaced individual survival.
Even as floodwaters receded in some areas, danger remained. Contaminated water lingered in homes and streets. Structures weakened by saturation posed long-term risks. Health concerns increased as standing water polluted wells and disrupted sanitation, raising the threat of disease outbreaks. Officials began assessing long-term consequences, reviewing flood defenses, drainage systems, and land management practices. The disaster exposed vulnerabilities built up over years, lessons that will come at both human and economic cost. Across southern Thailand, resilience has emerged quietly. Community kitchens continue to serve displaced families. Volunteers return day after day despite exhaustion. Between destruction and recovery, determination remains stronger than devastation. Southern Thailand now faces the long path of rebuilding after historic floods. The scars will remain for years, but unity endures as the waters slowly retreat and recovery begins.